So Sean, on today's expose, we're talking about Trish Tilby, Patricia Trish Tilby, and she first appeared in X Factor number 7 in August 1986, created by Louise Simonson and Jackson Geese. Is that how you say it? I don't know.
Sure.
But she's a TV news reporter lady. She's like Gail Weathers. You know, she talks about the X-Men. She talks about X Factor. She talks about Apocalypse. She dated Beast for a little bit. There's kind of a rocky relationship, you know, that kind of thing. But she's like, I'm Trish. The way she talked in this made me just think So, yeah, that's what I got. I don't know.
Yeah, she wasn't in the comics very long. I felt bad giving this one to you, but it's like, whatever, at least I don't have to do it. But yeah, like you said, she was Beast, like on again, off again, like girlfriend. The thing I like about her, she's kind of like Carly, who we saw in the series in Beauty and the Beast, in that she is more attracted to Beast as the blue furry mutant than anything else. So like, she's open to it. The funny thing is, the only reason why she didn't like Beast is kind of the same reason Mary Jane doesn't like Peter Parker, because he would go into like battle and be joking around. She's like, dude, you could be killed. So that's kind of why she left eventually. She couldn't handle his hero life.
She's like, I'm gonna have to report about your murder on my news. That would be horrible.
Yeah.
I go where I wanna go. Jean.
Scott.
Jean?
Scott. I summon the Arctic winds.
No more mutants!
I summon the Arctic winds.
No more mutants!
I summon the Arctic winds.
No more mutants! There's always more gators in the bayou.
Don't get a
Well, welcome to this episode of Solving for X. My name is Sean, the ultimate excavationist.
And I'm something of an X fan myself, Kevin. Oh, and we have a guest today. Oh my gosh, Sean. It's Greg. I hope I say your name. Is it Maraio?
That's pretty good. I say Maraio, but you can say Maraio.
Maraio. I say Maraio. You can say Maraio. Yeah.
Potato. But I, having an Italian last name, I've heard so many variations of it that I just answer to anything at this point.
Maraio. Yeah.
Potato. Let's call the whole thing.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, not only are you like strikingly handsome, and we plan to make out one day, but you are an amazing mannequin maker and costumer, and you were just at the Uncanny Experience. You made the whole team of X-Team people amazing. Talk about that.
Thank you. Yeah, we actually, I actually didn't get to go to the Uncanny Experience. I'm hoping to next year. I debuted them at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it was crazy because I started making. My career has mainly been in realistic mannequins, sort of mannequins that look like real people, celebrities. But I really wanted to see what it would be like to create like a life-size cartoon mannequin, basically as if the cartoon, had come to life and was standing in front of you. And the first one I did was Jean, and it got such a huge response from the interwebs that I just kept making them, and people were really loving them. And eventually, I had the whole team, and I was like, well, what the hell am I going to do, with them? And I'm like, well, people have said they wanted to see them. So I decided to bring them to Rhode Island Comic Con, and it was crazy. I mean, people were taking pictures. We set up a chair so that you could sit in Xavier's hover chair, and you could be the new leader of the X-Men. And it was so nice to meet geeks.
Some of the voice actors.
Yeah, and
too.
all the voice. I mean, I think there were 9 voice actors there. 9. Yeah, there were 9 of the X-Men voice actors were there. And they all signed their mannequins for me, which was so kind of them. And yeah, it was just meeting other X-Men fans, from that time, from the series that were my age and had a similar experience. I could tell the ones that were big fans by the way that they would walk by the display and their eyes would light up. So it was really, really an amazing experience to share that.
That's so cool.
I don't know if you've seen them, Sean.
I did.
I'm gonna text you a picture.
Okay.
Oh, you did see them.
Yeah,
Okay,
I saw
good.
it on
Good.
Instagram.
Good.
Very nice work.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All right. And tell us, what got you into X-Men?
I think, I remember the comics. I remember. So I was big into art and drawing when I was a kid, and my favorite thing to draw was sort of taking the old trading cards, like the Flair trading cards and the Marvel trading cards, and sort of drawing them over again myself. And I think that was my first sort of introduction to the X-Men and the characters. And then, of course, the cartoon just sort of changed my life. It's sort of, I remember the first two episodes, and after that I was hooked. And I think it was mainly the cartoon that got me into X-Men, and it's sort of still is the closest to my heart in terms of those characters, that sort of iteration of X-Men.
Nice. And
Yay.
do you have a favorite X-Men?
Oh yeah, like like any true homosexual, I'm a Jean Grey fan. And it's funny because if you look at the actual show, especially the first 2 seasons or whatever. I mean, that woman did nothing. She would touch her head and pass out. And then I was like, well, maybe I just relate to people who do very little work for lots of money and recognition. But I don't know. I just always I related to sort of that. The duality, I guess, looking back, like she was so kind and gentle, but then the Phoenix persona could, sort of, overtake her at any moment. But yeah, there's something about Jean Grey that I always sort of gravitated towards. I mean, I'm a big fan of the strong female characters, but if I had to pick one, it would always be Jean. Always Jean.
Nice. And I love that you said that, because just today I'm catching up on our Gene Gaz encounter. I watched the Phoenix Saga Part 1, and oh boy, there's quite a count in that episode.
I know. I love the fact that even Catherine Disher is like aware of the fact that now it's just looking back at it, it just, isolated. Those sounds are very, very specific to what they're conveying. When you just hear them without any sort of animation, it's clear, what's going on. But yeah, it's really fantastic.
So will you reveal the final count on the quiz show? Is that what's happening?
That's what's happening. So I'm glad that you beat me to it. I just have, I think, 5 more episodes to watch, something like that. And then I have the final count, and we'll go over all of it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited.
Yay. Cool. And did you, Greg, did you watch the series when it was on TV when you were little?
Yeah, I did. I remember, I not only did I watch it, I had the VHS tapes, I had the Pizza Hut memorabilia. I had, I'm trying to think of the video cassettes, Pizza Hut. I mean, they really didn't, in terms of marketing the show back in the day, we really didn't get a lot. We didn't have action figures. We didn't have, specifically animated series merchandise. So I love that, now that I'm, reaching the end of my life, I'm getting all of this great, all of this great stuff that I can buy, the statues, the Diamond Selects busts, the figures that are coming out. It's just great, because obviously, a lot of us are still collectors. So this is all stuff that I would have killed for when I was like 11 years old.
Yeah. Which I'm very bitter, by the way, because that 5-figure set that I posted last week went on sale on Target for $6 less. I'm like, fuck you, Target. I just bought that.
Right. I went looking for it at Target. I didn't even see it. All I saw was the Wolverine full scale figure. I'm like, I want the other ones.
Well, I can get it for you.
I haven't seen any of them here on the East Coast. I haven't seen any. I think I've seen some Bishops, but I think those were the only figures that I've seen actually in stores.
Okay. Interesting. Well, cool. I had a quick update from last week. I thought I'd share it with everybody. So last
Okay.
week we covered Descent. That's the one where it's
Yes.
Mr. Sinister's backstory, and Kevin asked, "Has Jack the Ripper been in Marvel?" And I said I couldn't remember. He has, Kevin.
Ooh, okay. Thanks for the update. I'm excited. Tell me.
So he first appeared in All Select Comics number 7 in December of 1944. He is not a person, though. He is a parasitic creature that hailed from the dark dimension, of course. So multiple people have been infected by the parasite. It usually chooses someone who's like already kind of got tendencies. So it like
Okay.
attaches to them and feeds and like nurtures those tendencies. So it's been on Philip Durant, who was the second person. Tom Malvern is Jack the Ripper that we know from like history. Then Philip Durant got it in 1932. And then it looks like, I don't know, other people throughout time. But he did show up in X-Men, which I forgot about. He was with Azazel in like the Hell Dimension. He was one of Azazel's pirates. So that's where I got this picture that I posted last week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How cool.
So that's Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's go over our previously on real quick, and then we'll get into our episode. So, Greg, are you familiar with like the current comics and the new characters that have come out?
You know, unfortunately, I'm not. I think that sort of, you know, I sort of have locked myself in the sort of early 90s, and I can't sort of take the leap into any.
Your Power Rangers.
But I can fake it. I could possibly try to fake it. What could have changed in the past 20 years? Really, I mean, I'm sure characters have died and come back, and you know,
Right.
Is Jean alive? Is Jean alive right now or no?
Technically, she's dead again. She just died again this year.
Nice, Mazel Tov, Jean. That's good.
But she'll be back.
Yeah, she does one thing right. She dies.
X-Men 97.
So one thing we talked about last week, so this will be a good refresher to our listeners, but our question was, which of the Mr. Sinister clones is your favorite? So if you haven't heard, there's Mother Righteous, who's like Mr. Sinister's wife, cloned as like a purple lady who uses magic. There's Dr. Stasis, who is basically Mr. Sinister, but a scientist. There's Mr. Sinister himself. And then the old man is Orbis Stellaris, who's like a celestial being. So those are your choices. Who do you like the most?
Wow.
I know.
Out of just those descriptions, I guess I'll have to go with the celestial being. I mean, that sounds pretty great. Yeah, let's go with that. That's the one I would choose.
Cool. And actually, you would be the only one to vote for him, so that's good. Yeah. That's good. I sold you on him.
Yay!
Hey.
So the votes are in.
It.
So Orbis Stellaris got 0 votes. Dr. Stasis got 1. Mother Righteous got 31% of the votes, and of course,
Mr. Sinister probably won.
Mr. Sinister won with 63% because he's what we're used to. We all have learned to love him.
That's what people know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't surprised by that vote?
I thought Mother Righteous might give him a run for the money because a lot of our listeners like us are queer, so like you gotta love Mother Righteous, but Mr. Sinister's got so much history.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So let's get into Graduation Day, the last episode of the original series. It aired September 20th, 1997, written by James Krieg.
Yes.
Yes.
I saw, what's his face? That guy. I can't remember his name. Kawatapi. No.
Are you hungry?
What's his name? The guy that's always referenced. I can't remember his name. It was on the front. It was like Calamari. Joseph Calamari. That's his name.
Oh, I missed it. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was right under the writer's name and had a couple other names.
Oh, in the opening credits?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But we do
Calamari 69.
we do have a shit ton of cameos to go through, so you're gonna hear the cameos sound quite a bit.
Cameo.
All right, get us started, Kevin.
All right, scene 1. We open on a justice-type building where footage of mutants endangering humans is being displayed to a large government crowd. Outside the building, protesters are doing their protest thing. Henry Gyrick, that guy, he's no longer a robot crazy symbiote thing because he turned back into human.
No, that's not Gyrick. You're thinking of what's his name? Not Gyrick.
What's his name?
But yeah, Gyrick has always been the redhead from the first episodes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So who's that guy?
You're thinking Cameron Hodge.
Cameron Hodge. Yeah. Okay. They're pretty much the same person. Except one was got technologically. Okay. So I was so confused because like, what's he doing here?
Yeah.
But okay, I gotcha. All right. Anyway, Henry Gyrick rallies the crowd to back his mutant containment bill. He smiles as the crowd gives grunts of appeasement. Suddenly, Professor X appears on stage. He stands up for mutants everywhere, even though he's sitting down. He seems to have a cough, though. He's like... and then... He's like, Mr. Gyrick!
So we talked about Gyrick. So he looks completely different. So I didn't even recognize him until they said his name, and I was like, "What did you do to yourself?"
What did he even look like before?
He had
glasses and like red hair, didn't he?
That's right, the glasses.
Yeah. Remember from the Odd Couple episode?
Oh yeah.
He kind of looked like a grown-up Archie from like Archie's comics. Like he looked like a grown-up Archie.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah. So we have our first cameos here.
Come out, wherever you are.
Don't worry about us, Dingo. We'll make sure we can.
Cameo. So we have the Morlocks. So we get Callisto, Ape, Scaleface, Thunder, and Leech. Put a pin in that because we got more on Morlocks coming soon.
I'm like, I saw that girl with her big old eyes from the
Mariana
from the Christmas episode. Yeah.
Terrifying.
Thank you. I'm glad you feel that way too. Her eyes are too much.
Yeah. She looked like she looked. It made that episode look like Drawn Together from like Cartoon Network, where like the animation styles.
Oh, we know Drawn Together.
Well, yeah, the animation styles didn't match up. She was like, from a different sort of animation altogether. Yeah. It didn't work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so validated right now. Yeah, because we like reference Drawn Together all the time. B, we said the same thing. She's like a total anime character and does not fit in with anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
We also have cameos from Feral, Sunfire, and Tusk, which of course we have seen them before in the series, but I thought it was worth pointing out. But yeah, more on that too. I did say here, I don't recognize the guy with like the body armor, but he's so cool looking. I think we've seen him before. He's got like the black face with like white eyes and a white mouth. He's like Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so Wolverine, Cyclops, and Beast watch Gyrick and Xavier argue from the front row, and then Wolverine moves to intervene, but Cyclops stops him for the 582nd time. This needs to play out. Gyrick gets more and more threatening to Xavier. We find out from
That's a word.
That's a word, yeah. We find out from Beast that Xavier is tired from fighting legislation for the past few weeks. Wow. Sorry for being that's like, I love that this episode, like we never saw him like remotely sick, and now all of a sudden he's like, he's like Beth from Little Women. Like he's just like, he's it's like turned into like, a turn of the century consumption show where Xavier is like You know. Anyway, it just was always, it always surprised me that he had this like little cough that turned like that killed him, you know. Although I guess I should say that it wasn't the cough, maybe it was the whatever we find out in the next section happens to him from Gyrick. But yeah, I always as a kid I always thought the cough was a little lame.
Yeah. And you're right,
Remember me, Joe?
this episode like jumps for a lot of characters because I guess we'll talk about it. But yeah, everybody's in new places all of a sudden.
Mhm.
Oh, it's me now.
Yeah.
On the stage, Xavier continues to stick up for the mutants. Gyrick accuses Xavier of being a mutant. He pulls out a contraption and aims it at Xavier. It sets off his power. Cyclops orders Beast and Wolverine to move in with him to help the professor. As Xavier's power flares out of control, crippling the audience, guards move in to apprehend Gyrick about time and take him away. Xavier struggles with his power and falls from his chair as his 3 X-Men move in to help him. Cyclops orders to have an unconscious Xavier taken back to the Blackbird. Wolverine smells Xavier, tells Cyke they're too late. He's sick.
But I was like, yeah, and going forward with this episode, I was like, what did he do to him? Like, really? Like, what was that?
Yeah, are we supposed to believe that like it was always the cough and this thing was just a secondary thing, or did this device like amplify the cough? Like it was never specified like what exactly he is like dying from. Is it is it a combo of the two? Is it the cough? Is it the beam or whatever? Yeah, I guess for a kids show they couldn't really get into sort of the specifics of whatever disease he had, but I don't know, it just sort of didn't track as smoothly as it could have.
Yeah, I wonder if we were supposed to believe that he was weakened already because he has the cough, so when the thing was used at him he couldn't protect himself and it sent his powers out of control. I don't know, that's kind of what I got.
So maybe the overload of exerting himself, maybe weakened him.
Maybe. But yeah, it's not really touched on. We're just supposed to go with it.
Yeah.
And like, when was there ever another point where like Wolverine was like, why couldn't he just like touch his pulse or something? Like, why? It was never established that like he could. Do you guys ever remember an episode where he smelled death before? Like, I mean, that seems like a new thing. And of course he's wrong because how do you smell someone's dead after like 2 seconds?
Right.
It takes a while for a body to smell. Not that I know from like personal experience, but like it takes a while for a body to like smell or get rigor mortis or whatever.
Right. Beast is like, you're wrong. What was it? What was I gonna say? Yes, death is not. He said something. I don't remember now.
Well, I think
Death is in the air.
it was a good cliffhanger too, because I think there was a commercial break there, right? And like we can't.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and he's like, he's not dead. So it's writing.
Oh, yeah.
They're writing it that way.
That's true.
And Xavier just didn't shower for a week or so. That's all. That's what you're smelling.
Ew. Why'd you have to go there?
He stinks somehow. All right. Scene 4. The Blackbird takes off from Washington, D.C. Cyclops orders Gambit to fly them home ASAP. Xavier is hooked up to machines as Beast monitors his health. Cyclops calls in to the manor and he gets Jubilee. He tells her to prep the medbay and call Moira.
And I want to say this is the first time Gambit is told to do something and he does it well in this whole series.
Isn't that amazing?
Do you guys know at what point Gambit's voice actor changed? Because this is not Chris Potter at this point.
It was this season.
The whole season it was a different Gambit?
It was what episode? The one.
Is it the third? Third or fourth?
Yeah, we definitely noticed it. It's I think it was
Yeah.
Greg Daniels, I want to say, or Tony Daniels. And
Yeah.
Tony Daniels.
he sounds very Speedy Gonzalez in the first episode he takes over. It was all over the accent, but it was definitely season 5.
Yeah, that's and I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. That Cajun accent is really difficult to do. So I give him a lot of credit for even attempting it. But yeah, it was rough, and you could tell that they they only gave him like a few lines because they knew that it was probably like a crapshoot with what was going to come out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You know what episode it was? It was Jubilee's Fairy Tale Theater. That's where he took over.
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
that makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah.
Yep.
hmm We've got, meanwhile, on Genosha Island, Sunfire speaks to the mutants there. He tells them that Xavier was just openly attacked by a human on national TV, proving Magneto right. Farrell stands up for Xavier's dream. She tells Sunfire it is too soon to act. Sunfire warns everyone that if Xavier looks human and he was attacked, what about those of them who don't look human? He leads the group to agree to war on humans. Wow.
Dang.
Gas.
Gas.
Yeah, that's intense.
Kicking into high gear.
They really did. They really did cram a lot of drama into this 1.5 hour, didn't they? I mean, they really did. There's a lot of themes going on here, but yeah, that's intense. Like, let's talk about this for 2 seconds and then go to war.
Yeah.
Right. One thing I can say about X-Men is they do really make great use of the time they have because they get so much out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know, because as I was taking notes, I was checking the time when it was going. I was like, dang, I'm like really into this. I'm really far in, and it was like 5 minutes. I was like, are you kidding? This is only 5 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
So we have our next set of cameos here.
Come out, wherever you are.
Don't worry about us, Dingo. We'll make sure we can.
Cameo.
We have
Yay.
the man with like the blonde, like He-Man hair with like the brown vest on and open chest. That's Kangaroo, character that most people have never heard of. And we mentioned Marianne is there with her big anime eyes, and also
there she
Mole,
is.
who we kept seeing. He was the Morlock who has like the beard, and he was being attacked by mutants way back in season 2. Or by humans, sorry.
Mole. I remember him, yeah.
So it is interesting though that like Mole and Mariana are now on Genosha. So I'd love to see like the companion series that tracks like how all these Morlocks keep moving all around because they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I noted here I like Sunfire's fiery winky face attitude because he's very like this in the comics. Farrell though,
Hard-headed.
Farrell is usually bitchier. Bitch, did you call me a female dog? From our Charm
That's
podcast.
a Words of the Witches reference.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, we're getting these because they were in the Genosha episodes in season 1, but now we're actually like getting them talking and like getting their kind of persona, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I get scene 6. I love this one. A little ways away from the phallic Smurf village, Magneto stands and watches.
I noticed that too. I'm glad I wasn't the only.
Of course you did.
Then his phallic mountain over here.
Yeah.
Wait, is that like I don't remember that. Is the village itself looks very, very phallic in terms of like the structures, the homes and stuff?
It's almost like a mushroom village, but they're like those skinny mushrooms that very much look like that.
Oh wow. Okay. I just rewatched this today, but I must have been not paying attention to that. Either that or just, you guys have a lot dirtier minds than I do.
Probably that.
Yeah.
La 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 la.
Wow. Gargle now.
Yeah. Who is it?
You.
Is it me? Okay. Back at the updated, sprucier-looking manor, Wolverine paces as Rogue watches Storm comfort Jubilee. She tells her that the professor is getting the best care possible. Jubilee gets mad at Storm for treating her like a kid, and calling her Jubilee. By lying to her, she gets mad by treating her like a kid by lying to her about how dire the situation is. Rogue tells Jubilee, Storm ain't lying, sugar. She is just saying what we all need to hear right now. They look in Storm's blowout. I'm like, her hair looks crazy. I mean, jamming the holograms over here. I don't know.
Yeah, have you guys talked a lot about the on other episodes about the change in animation style at this point, or is that? I'm sure that's something you must have touched upon.
We've touched on it kind of
Yeah.
character by character. Storm hasn't really been in the updated remodels as much, so I did note here, like, I do really like her. She looks hot. Some of the other ones didn't go so well.
Yeah,
Right.
I think Storm is successful. I mean, the only ones that really kind of irked me were, you know, the artists, they couldn't color in Jean's costume correctly, so it really bothered me that all of a sudden, like, her costume was all blue up top without the yellow sides, and that just drove me freaking crazy. And then, you know, all of a sudden, Jubilee, our spunky Asian characters, like this blue-eyed little, you know, it's just, come on. It's like you've got one like Asian representing character, and you've turned her into like the most basic white. She should have been like holding like a pumpkin latte at that point. The way they
Right.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was, and I know it was like it must have been to save money or something like that. But yeah, I felt like Jubilee got shafted the most out of everyone.
I thought they did okay with Rogue, except for her hair. I called it ice cream hair. It looks like melting ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it had like the little like, you know, Dairy Queen like swoops. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Although Jean's eyes are huge in this too.
Oh yeah.
I look at her when I'm like, oh, your eyes are like really staring into my soul over here.
Yeah, and her chest, her bosom. I don't know how graphic we can get on this, but her bosom is they're perfectly round. I mean, you know, the characters were always, you know, sort of heightened, but Jean, by the time we get to this animation style, if you look at her chest, it's just they just drew two circles. Seriously, it is two circles.
Yeah, I kept noticing that she's very well drawn here. She's got big old titties.
Yeah, it's like
What's the Jessica Rabbit quote? I'm just drawn that way.
Yeah, I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
I'm not bad. I'm
just drawn that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Moira McTaggart FaceTimes in from Muir Island. She tells Hank that it is a miracle that they have been able to keep Xavier alive as long as they have. She tells Hank, Scott, and Jean that Xavier is beyond all human medical technology. Hank and Scott realize together that alien tech might be able to save Xavier. They start planning on a way to reach out to Lilandra. Jean is just there. Beast asks if Jean could reach Lilandra, but she says no. She doesn't have access to the unique telepathic bond between Xavier and Lilandra. Wow. Once again, Jean barely doing anything. I love it.
We had a theory by one of our guests that Jean is the real, true villain behind the scenes in this show.
Maybe that's, although, you know, it is weird because, like, they really do, later on, we'll see when we talk about it, they really do try to give her, you know, something to do. And my personal opinion was the only reason Jean actually plays a bigger part in this later episode is because, you know, her voice actress was still there, and they were like, let's keep, you know, let's give the main cast that we've had for 5 years some dialogue, because the people will at least recognize their voices. But yeah, I thought this was an interesting sort of way to. But then it's like, why don't we send all our dead people to the Shi'ar? Like, why? It's kind of rude that, like, my grandmother couldn't go to the Shi'ar Empire. You know?
True.
Right. It's like, I'm Professor X. Lilandra loves me. I'm special.
Yeah. It's kind of rude when you think about it that he gets special treatment, but whatever.
Well, back on Genosha, Nito watches as Sunfire and Farrell talk about him. They're worried about why their great leader won't speak to them. A chant starts up for Nito to speak. Suddenly he does. He rallies his people to action against the humans. What? Did you guys ask for another cameo?
Lead us!
No, you're supposed to be asking us for a cameo, Kevin. Ask me for a cameo.
Cameo, please.
Yes.
Come out, wherever you are.
Don't worry about us, Dingo. We'll make sure we can.
Cameo.
So we see Arclight, Tusk, Blockbuster, and randomly Jax from Mortal Kombat is there.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There, that's what you get. That's your cameo.
Cool. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
A handful. Patricia Trish Tilby is on scene reporting live. Yeah, those total like TV trucks and everybody. I love it. She warns that the attack on Xavier has caused mutants to uprise against humans. People are writing Magneto's name on the streets. A message from Xavier begs mutants to stop their attack on humans. Trish reports that Xavier's message has no effect on the rebellious mutants. Once the report is done, Wolvie, Psyche, and Gambit turn to Xavier sitting behind them. But he isn't Xavier at all, is he? He's Morph! Cyclops hints that with Xavier's message out of the way, it's time to go after Nito.
I feel that we were gypped. I call shenanigans. We don't say gypped anymore. I call shenanigans when Morph morphed. It was more of a fade and not a morph. He usually actually morphs. I didn't like this animation.
Well, they were
see,
barely had any money at this point, probably.
Yeah.
It's lucky that was animated at all.
That's true. I should be happy we even got characters in this episode.
And I like that he, Morph. It's funny, Morph even through the earlier seasons, like his they never really figured out his animation style. Like his hair kept changing. Then he had black hair. Then he had brown hair, and then he had a blunt cut, and then by the end of it, he kind of looked like had a Justin Bieber type haircut, like in this last episode. But I miss Night of the Sentinels morph with the big chin, like the Bruce Campbell looking morph.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like it when they made him look like just every guy. I liked him as sort of like the slender nose, big chin. That was so iconic. So, but who knows? Looks like X-Men '97. We're losing that completely. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we actually did a vote on which morph do you like the most because he changes so much, and people said they liked the lighter-haired morph the best, interestingly enough.
Really? I disagree with humanity. I think it just makes him look like every other guy. I mean, at least in the beginning, he was unique looking,
See, you should have voted. It probably would have curved everything.
I would have skewed the whole vote. So too late. Is this me now? Yes, it is.
It's you.
Back in the infirmary, Beast, Storm, and Psyche monitor the professor. Beast and Storm reveal that they are almost out of time. A message to Lilandra could take 9 months, and they may not even have 9 hours.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. So, 9. I remember hearing that, and that's just specific, why 9 months? 9 months, 9 hours. Who knows? But give it to Storm, and she'll make it sound important.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Are the Shi'ar that
true.
far away? It would take 9 months to travel to them? Wow. For a message to travel? All right. Well, Wolverine joins Cyclops in the war room. By the way, when Wolverine walks in, Cyclops is bent over. I was kind of like, Kevin's going to love this. He's going to notice this.
Wait, no, he's presenting himself?
Yeah.
Hey. Don't mind me over here.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
So Cyclops called for Wolverine for advice. First time for everything. Cyclops tells Wolverine that Jean used Cerebro to track an influx of mutants to Genosha, which means Magneto is involved, which I thought we already kind of knew. But Scott wants to openly fight Nito to cause distrust in his followers. Jean has a plan. She wants to use her force field to protect them from Nito's hordes who are on their way to pillage, burn, and plunder. X-Men, X-Men,
Pillage, burn, and
face
plunder.
the day, face the day.
They face the day. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you know, as a kid, I always thought the lyrics to that song were X-Men, X-Men, X is the day.
Oh, funny,
Oh.
because I thought it was X-Men Save the Day.
Oh, what are the actual lyrics? What are they? X-Men, X-Men. Is it face the day?
It's face the day, yeah. Which seems kind of like that's the word you went with.
I never would have guessed that from hearing that song my whole life. Yeah.
Right. It is a jam, though.
It is,
regardless of what the words are.
Yeah, no, I still sing that song on like a daily basis. I mean, it's a ditty. It's definitely a bop.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I'm using that as the song for this week's Magic School episode.
Nice.
To promote it. So
Awesome.
crazy. Full circle.
Full circle.
Full circle. But yeah, I thought they already knew Nito was involved because remember, Morph turns into Magneto in the infirmary, and Cyclops says now to take care of that or something like that. So
Right.
this was weird.
Yeah.
And no, wait. So Jean wants to protect them using her force field because she thinks that Magneto is going to like take them out. Is that what she thinks? She thinks that like Magneto's gonna literally like kill them.
I think so. They left it kind of ambiguous right here, but
Right.
that's kind of what I got out of it.
Okay.
I mean, because all of the people, who knows what these other mutants have, what powers these other mutants have to attack them with.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that makes sense.
All right. Outside, Rogue and Gambit are discussing the sitch. Rogue is in disbelief that everything has gotten so far out of control. They watch as the Blackbird takes off with our bisexual throuple on board.
You're welcome.
If I love the amount of like fan fictions out there that start with this very scenario. I didn't realize
Go into space, guys! Go into space!
I know.
Yay!
No one can hear you cry, or gasp, or scream,
or moan.
Our Jean-gasm.
I still feel like Jean would be the top, though. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jean's definitely the top. And once again, it's that scene with Rogue and Gambit. It's like very brief because neither one of those actors are the original actors. So it's like let's give them 2 lines, and at least show that they're there, but don't let them talk too much.
That's true. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Lenora switched too. I didn't know.
Yeah, if you listen, I'm almost positive. I don't have any like. If you listen to Rogue,
I thought she sounded different, but I wasn't sure if it was just weirdness.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, she doesn't have that sort of signature like Lenora like squeak to her voice, and either that or Lenore. It sounds close to Lenore, but I really don't think it is. And it's funny. I don't think I wonder if anyone's ever asked her, because I think she's still credited on the episode, but I would put money on the fact that that's not her. It doesn't sound like her. She's got such a distinct voice that, I think if you listen to it, you can hear that that's someone else.
Yeah. Okay. Because I did notice it, but I thought it was just my ears or her just having a weird day or something. But yeah. Interesting.
And like the timbre to it is different too. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but maybe there's a fan out there who knows for sure. But to me, it does not sound like Lenore in those last episodes.
Okay. I'm going to put that in my brain for my mind.
Put it in your
to think about.
Yeah.
Put it in your brain mind.
Yeah.
I do like that we're getting
it's you.
a darker Scott here. Like Wolverine's questioning Scott's like aggressive plan. This is kind of a cool Scott.
And he's had plenty of dark moments in the comics, so this is really nice to see,
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Agreed. All right. So now on the blackboard, On the Blackbird, Gene, Logan, and Scott fly into the night and into each other's tender, waiting arms. Scott tells them to remember to stay focused and always use protection. They just need to get to Magneto and persuade him to stand down. They reach Genosha. Wolverine second guesses Scott's aggressive plan. Well, isn't that a nice switcheroo? I mean, normally it would be Scott second guessing Wolverine's aggressive plan,
Mhm.
but now the shoe is on the other hand now, isn't it? Because it's a nice full circle moment. Maybe Wolverine is learning from Cyclops, and Cyclops is learning from Wolverine. And I love picturing Jean asleep on a chair while they're talking about this. So, yeah.
She's like
Beautiful.
checking a pregnancy test in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. She's barely functional.
Yeah. I didn't think about that because X-Men 97 takes place 6 months after, I believe. So if she starts off as pregnant in that show, she's already pregnant at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
So, I mean, it may be. Well, yeah. If it's 6 months, and if it's 6 months and she's pregnant on the show, right? She could have been impregnated on this trip.
That's true.
Because maybe she was, maybe she's 6 months along by the time the show opens, and I mean, who knows when and where it went down.
And then you want more. You're like, who's
I
the
was just
daddy?
gonna say that, yeah.
We need to
You
get
are the father.
Maury Povich. I know.
Yep.
And then we
I love
find
it.
out that Jean and Madeline both got pregnant on this jet because they were switching places. So one of them's having Wolverine's baby, one's having Cyclops' baby.
Yeah.
I
They did an Olsen twin switcheroo. There you go.
would love an X-Men cartoon that was like Muppet Babies, but it was like the X-Men as children, just sort of like navigating their powers in a playroom, with a nanny that we only see their feet. Wouldn't that be cute?
I love it.
I would tune into that.
X-Men babies.
The same for you. X-Men. I'd watch that. I think a lot of people would watch
Me too.
X-Men.
Oh my gosh.
Well, didn't they do X-Men Babies as a comic?
I know I've seen drawings. Yeah.
X-Babies. Yeah. Make that into a
See?
show. I would watch that.
Yeah,
Ooh,
they
me
should.
too.
That's the cover of our show this week, X-Babies.
X-Babies.
All right, Magneto stands atop his palace on Genosha. He welcomes the X-Men, who he has been expecting, by blowing up the Blackbird and leaving them for dead. He doesn't see the team of 3 leap from the jet before it is destroyed. Wolvie is getting nervous about their fall. He urges Jean to catch them. She does, but it takes a toll on her.
Okay.
Jean Gasman. There's also like a
Could you imagine what Jean... Go ahead.
Oh, you go.
No, I was going to say, imagine what Jean sounds like when she has to refill the ice cube tray. It must sound like agony. She must be like, or if she has to God forbid she has to vacuum or something like that. Oh, terrible.
Beautiful.
I did notice there's this conversation going on where Scott says something like, let's go knock on his door, and then Wolverine says, I prefer to do the knocking, and I'm like, this is totally a top bottom conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, maybe in our delicate little gay minds as kids, we were picking up on the the subtle innuendo there, but yeah, and this is the first time I think that these 3 have done anything really outside of the mansion. They've gone on a mission together. We never really got that in other episodes. Just this trio, which was kind of nice to see them interacting and sort of having to do something and work through all their issues together.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we usually don't get to see Jean adventure. She's usually back at the mansion.
Or floating randomly, or laying, you know.
And you
Yeah.
know what this her when she escorts them down with her like her bubble or whatever she does, it totally reminds me of that. Remember that video game, the X-Men video game, where if you fell off a cliff, Jean would like raise you up. She would like save you, and she would telekinetically raise you up so you'd have
Oh
another life.
yeah.
I think it was it X-Men like Clone Wars or something like that. But she would basically like she would carry you up in like a telekinetic bubble and like drop you back off for another life. So it totally reminded me. This scene reminded me of that video game where
Neat.
she's got everyone in the bubble, but in the video game she wasn't like exhausted by it like she is in the cartoon.
I know. I hope we get a less exhausted Jean in X-Men 97 who can actually do stuff.
See, like I hope that I really hope that they like sort of acknowledge it too. Like, I mean, wouldn't it be great if like the first episode she was like, you know what, you guys, I've been dealing with chronic fatigue syndrome for the past 5 years, and no one's cared, and now that I finally found medication,
Yeah.
like
Screw you, assholes.
Yeah, instead of ignoring the fact that she was like exhausted for 5 years, like let's
I needed help here.
yeah, like maybe Xavier had like a terrible HMO. Like, I mean, like it was a terrible healthcare plan that Xavier had, and
Oh my gosh.
now she's got some good healthcare. So,
Magneto gives me better benefits. Thank you.
Yeah.
seriously, she's got they've all got they've all got dental now, so it's fine.
Yeah. Right.
All right, Kevin.
Who is it?
You.
Me. Okay. Nito's cult sleeps by their fires. Jean, Scott, and Logan sneak past them. They're caught though by Sunfire and Farrell, who's not as bitchy. Wolvie tries to play it off that it's a big island. It's a big island. What? It could be other people that are doing these things. They've been there the whole time, though. Farrell asks for their squad leader. Suddenly, Sunfire recognizes them from Season 1, when they liberated Genosha. Just then, Magneto announces, it is time to act.
Would
Wow.
you like your next set of cameos?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Come out, wherever you are.
Don't worry about us, Dingo. We'll make sure we can.
Cameo.
This one is the most random cameo to me out of the whole thing, and they didn't even catch it on like the boards. But we have Forearm, Unishone, Mimic, Toad, and Reaper. But along with all these people, Moondragon is there. Moondragon, who's not even a mutant, who has nothing to do with X-Men, is hanging out on Genosha.
And who is Moondragon?
She's the bald one with like the green cloak. We talked about her in in Beyond Good and Evil. She was one of the mutants that were captured there. She's Drax's daughter.
Oh.
She's one of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Gotcha.
But she was randomly there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But everybody else we've seen before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we continue?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that you guys gave me the longest blurbs.
You're
The
welcome.
new guy gets the longest blurbs. Okay, fine, I get it. Jean, Scott, and Logan use Magneto's announcement as an excuse to sneak away from the crowd. They start looking for a hidden entrance. Logan finds one pretty easily. The three X-Men interrupt Nito's rant. Nito throws the furniture at them. The X-team enter into combat with Nito. Jean is able to hold him off, but not for long, because she's tired. Their powers collide and throw everyone off balance. Cyclops reveals to Nito that Xavier is dying. Magneto suddenly gets grim and mourns Xavier's health. He agrees to let them leave in respect for Charles. Jean suddenly realizes that Xavier's power mixed with Nito's could be strong enough to get a message to Lilandra for help. Nito feels torn between saving Charles and leading his hordes. Wow.
Aww.
So that's like a major a crisis of faith here this is like, Magneto's choice, really. I mean, it's a huge part of, this episode, but also the whole series, because it's his BFF. That's his BFF.
My secret love.
I know. Are there schools of people? Are there camps of people who believe that Magneto and Xavier were bumping uglies, or no? Like lovers?
I don't hear that a lot, but like especially in this episode, it's very much hinted at, like
feels
that
like
they're
it.
in love.
Well, maybe it's like a bromance. I mean, who knows? I mean, it seems like, have you guys seen those memes that like the whole X-Men saga is just basically like we're dealing with this breakup, these two men's breakup. It's like,
Oh yeah.
it's like, but yeah, I mean, it's his, it's his Sophie's choice here. What does he do? Does he go save his friend, or does he lead, his hordes to war?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I deal with that every day, but a lot of people don't.
I'm used to it. So while they're fighting, we get our second gene-gasm.
Okay.
Very nice.
And then there's a color error here, which you mentioned earlier, Greg, that they make this error a lot, where like half of Jean's upper side was blue, where it should have been that orangey color. So yeah, bad coloring.
Yeah, she's pretty much. There's probably only one point in this episode where she's colored correctly. Most of the time, her whole upper torso is solid blue, and then sometimes the thong panel in the front that is supposed to be blue as well. Sometimes it's not there. Sometimes it's yellow. Sometimes it's blue. Yeah, it really like goes all over the place. But I don't know how they managed to do that, but it really like the 12-year-old me is still angry about it. Like angry.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So get it correct.
Yeah.
You have one job. One job.
One job. All right. Look, I gave myself a long one. 18's long. There you go. I'm a team player.
All right. That is long.
Yeah.
That is long.
I hear that a lot. Back in the infirmary, Storm cries as she clings to Charles. Morph and the other X-Men stand by their leader's side. Enter Jean, Scott, and Logan. And enter Magneto. Beast warns Nito that if Xavier passes away while Nito is connected with Charles, the psychic stress could kill him too. Nito don't care though. He bonds his powers with Xavier. The signal goes out into space. Xavier awakens and is able to thank Nito for his help. Xavier tells his X-Men he is grateful to be able to say goodbye to them all. Xavier goes through the X-Men one by one to tell them how proud he is of each of them. Xavier is gripped by pain before he passes out again.
And don't forget, he goes, Cyclops, I think I'll miss you most of all.
Yeah.
I will say that watching this again, this little section of his goodbyes, it's well written. It actually gave me a little lump in my throat. I mean, the things he says individually to all the team members, I mean, it's really kind of moving. I mean, I'm kind of a big softie to begin with, but I think that the writing at this point, is really, kudos to the writer of this episode, because it really, that's what I would imagine Xavier would say to each one of them. So I think it was kind of beautifully written towards the end here.
Yeah.
And they each had them just single frame each one, and I feel like they all reacted very appropriately. I was watching, because Wolverine didn't shed a tear at all. He just covered his eyes, and like.
But he took his mask
very
off,
fascinating.
like he was like dropping his cap,
right. It's
And,
very honorable. Yeah.
It was. I remember even back when I watched it the first time and watching it, the other day. It's it's a moving little moment between these characters, and I think it was very, very well crafted what they did.
Yeah, and you can tell the writers know the X-Men because they really hone in on, like you said, like Gambit being the thief who's misunderstood, and everything he says is so on point.
Yeah, I know, rogue, unable to touch anyone, yet look around. I mean, like it's just it's good. it's good writing. And then he doesn't really say anything to Beast. He just quotes Shakespeare. I think it's Shakespeare. He speaks. It shows that Xavier speaks all of their languages. He's able to communicate with his children, with his kids, and it's actually, it's pretty. I keep saying it, but it's pretty moving.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Just then, there is a light from the corner. Lalandra teleports in. Nito tells her she is too late. Lalandra says, too late for human medicine, but not for their Shion tech. She tells them that Xavier will never be able to come back to Earth. In body, anyway. The X-Men and Magneto watch as Xavier leaves the Earth forever. Maybe? Question mark?
I don't know. He could come back now. Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't
they have other technology out there that can make him come back?
But also Lilandra, read the room. Like she's like, what is her attitude when she's there? It's like she couldn't be like, y'all, I'm really sorry for your loss.
Right.
I'm gonna do all I can.
I'm taking him.
She's just like, you're a bunch of stupid humans, basically, is what she says. I mean, come on. Classic Lilandra.
All right, so that is our episode. So, Kevin, did you remember that Xavier goes away forever, and that's why Nito takes over in '97?
No, I knew something happened to him, but I didn't remember why or what the reason was.
Okay, I've been carefully trying to hide that from you.
But I did remember some things. I knew Lilandra showed up, and I knew the X-Men were there.
Yeah.
So
well, good. The people who the series is about were there, so that's good.
Yay!
Cool. So let's get into our wrap up. So, Greg, why don't we start with you? So, what did you think of this episode, and would you rate it as extreme, better than you expected? Expected? It's just another episode, or would you exit out? You don't ever want to see it again.
Oh, wow. Honestly, I would say, with the exception of the animation itself, which I wasn't fond of the later seasons' animation, I think this was an extreme episode. I mean, this is one of the few episodes that I can say that I've shed a tear to. I think that I found it very moving. I think that I wish that it had been the entire original cast. I wish it had been the original animation. But I think from a story perspective, from a wrapping things up perspective, I think it was a really, really good episode. I really do, and I think that that last scene alone, with Xavier talking to the X-Men, I think. That alone makes it stand out as one of the best. So, yeah, I'm going to go, what's the extreme is good? Is that what you guys do? You say extreme. I'm going to go with extreme here.
Yep.
Nice.
Extreme episode, but I'm going to X out the animation.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Extreme. I'm extreme in it. Yeah. It's a great finale for, and it's great because it gave you a feel for everything you've seen so far, but kept it open for the future, which is nice because they didn't know. But now it is happening, and so that's exciting. Exciting. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I feel like everybody played their part. They all did something, which is nice too.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only thing we didn't get a clear example of is what the hell is going on with Xavier, but at the same time, if they over-explain it, this is a kid's cartoon. So
yeah,
I say extreme. We got all the players back pretty much. We got a big story. And yeah, like you said, it leaves it open a little bit, which obviously was a good idea since we have the new show coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who would you say is the most excellent player?
You know what? I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna back up my reasoning. I'm gonna say it's Jean in this because, for with the exception of the Phoenix Saga, for 5 years, she's been doing the bare minimum, and I think this is the episode where she really stepped up. She she got everyone down on Magneto's island safely. She came up with the idea on how to get the message to Lilandra. I mean, she was Xavier's first student. I think this was kind of a full circle moment for Jean. So I think that I'm going to give it to Jean on this. And Jean's my favorite, but I can't think of another episode where I would say she would be the most excellent player. I think this would be probably, with the exception, of course, of, maybe the Phoenix Saga. I think she really tried. She really tried in this episode.
Yeah, I picked Jean as well.
I think you're both wrong. I think Jean.
The force field thing, the being sympathetic to Magneto and coming up with the plan, like you said, and she's really being all ears, listening to everybody and taking the whole situation into account.
Hey, Sexy Xy's. So, unfortunately, at this point in our conversation, for some reason, Greg's audio stopped recording. So we did, unfortunately, lose the last 10 minutes or so of him speaking. But I just want to make sure that you know that you can find him at Greg Maraio on the social medias, where you can see his gorgeous work, all his different mannequins that he's done. It's GregMaraio. Some of the highlights is I asked him if there's ever been a time that a mannequin's come alive only for him that he's fallen in love with. He said that's very personal, so he didn't answer me. But he did give us this. He did tell us that he does get a lot of strange requests asking from men if Cyclops is anatomically correct, or if he could be made to be anatomically correct. So you can imagine what people are wanting to do with that Cyclops. Winky face. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I thought I made a note. I almost forgot to talk about it. Jean saying that she technically wasn't the first student, but she technically was.
I know. I was questioning that too, but I'm like,
Yeah, so he basically took Jean with the parents' consent. He took her into the school before it was the school because her power was out of control. So she did live with Professor X first, but he technically offered Cyclops to be an X-Man first, but
right.
Jean was living there first. That's up for interpretation, so that's why I didn't argue with the show.
Yeah, because I did have a red flag. I'm like, wasn't Cyclops? And then I actually Googled it. I'm like, oh, okay. So it was, it's very funny and tricky.
Yeah. I have no problems with it. I just thought I had to mention it. All right, so now we all agreed on Jean. So now is the X Factor. So this is where you can highlight either a favorite part of the episode or how this episode represents the greater X-Men lore on a whole, or as a whole.
If you start off, the whole series is a Xavier's dream, and here it is, reaching the end of his life and seeing the people he helped create and become who they are today, and it's a really full circle moment for the series. It only makes sense.
Yeah. So what I like about it is this is another case where I have no proof. I have nothing to go on except for my own feeling. But I feel like this episode influenced the comics in a big way, because we do get a storyline in the early 2000s where people are like wearing shirts. Magneto was right. They're graffitiing. Magneto was right. And that's everything that we saw in this episode. So this whole idea that like at any given time it can teeter between Magneto or Xavier's extreme views is very much representative of X-Men as a whole. So I'm going to say that it inspired the comics.
Cool.
So for our previously on question this week, since we got pretty much everybody showing up in this episode, I want to ask, who else do you think would have deserved a cameo? Your choices are Archangel, because he's done a lot with the X-Men and he was one of the original 5. Maybe. It's kind of unclear in the series if he was there or not. Amanda Vaught, since she's his ex that he's kind of friends with now. Iceman, since he was original 5. Or Cable, because he's been a big part of the team too. Who should have gotten a spotlight here?
I don't know. I mean, if I take the series into account, what we know from the series, I feel like Amanda would make the most sense, just because we've seen the relationships that she's had with Xavier, and the trials and tribulations and how she was there when it started, before the X-Men started, and why she walked out and how she helped them later. So she makes sense to me. Like Iceman and Archangel were in this, but like their connection isn't as well known in the series. And then Cable would just be weird. Cable wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't. I would have liked to see Iceman somehow, since they established him and Xavier like didn't get along, and he like left the X-Men because he didn't like Xavier. So I think, but yeah, I think Iceman could have used more story.
He's your favorite.
He's my favorite.
So it makes sense.
In my mind, I thought I remembered them all standing out there at the end when he was flying into space. It was just Magneto and our like core team, but I thought everybody was there.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That takes us through our show. So next week, Kevin, you're getting quizzed along with you get to find out the final Genegasm counts. We'll see what the most Genegasmatic episode is. Kevin, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can follow my personal Instagram, KJEEZY87. All the things. Or you can follow the other podcast that we do, Words of the Witches, and that's Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube's.
Or you can find me on
That's
Sean
so good.
Perret on Instagram and follow all my podcasts that have been, or my book, or my thread list. Yay!
Yay! Cool. We did it!